Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday the 12th of May 2023. In today's Millwall news, it was gonna be a very thin and boring day because there's not a lot of news going around. It was gonna be that, and then out of nowhere, a gift from God, I got handed this story by a rat. A rat popped up out of nowhere on a Friday evening, as they always do. You can tell it's a good one when they dump it on a Friday evening because they want it to marinate over the weekend and they know it's going to stick. So yeah, here we go. This is from bbcsport.co.uk. It is from Shamoon Hafez. Shamoon Hafez. FA probes alleged offensive tweets from head of youth Barry Dunn's account. Really? Okay. So the Football Association is investigating tweets of an alleged racist and Islamophobic nature, which appeared on the account of Mill's head of youth recruitment Barry Dunn. The numerous offending tweets which have been seen by Mill BBC Sport were on an account which had Dunn's name on it. The Twitter account now appears to have been deleted. In a statement to BBC Sport, Mill said they are cooperating fully with the governing body. A spokesman for the Championship club added the club is aware of an active FA investigation into the social media activity of a staff member. The club cannot comment further while the investigation is ongoing, but wishes to reiterate its zero tolerance policy against discrimination of any kind. In March, Millwall signed the Muslim Athlete Charter, pledging to actively support players of the Islamic faith. At the time, the club had 7 Muslim players in their academy. The Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh said of the signing of the Charter, "It is imperative the club incorporates the differing needs of non-Muslim players." He added, "As a club, we are striving to create an environment where players and staff can maximise their ability and talent, and this will help those of Muslim faith to do exactly that." Right. Lies. There's all types of many lies. One of the main lies that you will see in the BBC and the press around the world is the lie of omission. So, where are the tweets? Do they quote the tweets? No. In fact, they are not even tweets. They are retweets. They are not tweets. Technically, they're retweets. So, what are they? They must be bad. They are so bad that they're not showing them to you. Aha, well, actually, you know what? They're not. They're not that bad. It's really isn't that bad. So let's have a look, because this is the little fucking rat that's stirring up the shit. Islam21c.com, and here he is, Shahir Chowdhury, bearded tit on the right hand side. He's probably about 5'1" as well. So here we go. It's basically a blog run by this guy that's masquerading as a news channel. Millwall Academy Ed allegedly shared Islamophobic comments. In a damning expose, we share evidence of arguably discriminatory bias presented by the chief of Championship club Millwall FC's academy. Okay. So in an explosive development, Islam21c can reveal that the head of youth recruitment at Millwall Football Club's academy, Barry Dunn, reportedly shared a number of Islamophobic and racist social media posts on Twitter. While the Twitter handle Barry Dunn 99 no longer exists, we have retained screenshots evidencing his recent apparent discriminatory and unacceptable retweeting history. Okay. One of the retweets in question pertains to a post issued by the notorious demagogue. That's kind of a loaded word, isn't it? I think when someone uses the word demagogue, that this is biased. Founding member and long-time leader of UKIP, Nigel Farage. Oh my god, he retweeted Nigel Farage. Oh my god. Wow. Who gives a shit? Furthermore, Dunn has allegedly shared at least 2 tweets by Martin Daubney, the former deputy leader of Reclaim Party, and one by the equally notorious Lawrence Fox, who is the leader and founder of the same. Wow, he retweeted a leader of a centre-right political party. Oh my god. Wow. Anti-asylum seeker mentality, tacit support for Rwanda-style deportation scheme. Yes, a lot of people support it. Most people in this country support it. Most people support not letting these boat people, whatever they're called, take the fucking piss. Most people support that. And the reason why we support that is because we've got NHS waiting lists because they don't have enough money, but they've got money, they have to spend money on this shit. So this is what, look, you can see here, Barry Dunn retweeted. So he's retweeting. He's not tweeting anything. He's not saying any words himself. He's just retweeting. He retweeted Nigel Farage, who said, "Come to the UK illegally, get escorted by the French Navy, and then smoke cannabis in a hotel paid for by the British taxpayer. It is beyond a joke." Wow. Okay. So, illegal immigration. Illegal immigration. Someone, now you or I, we want to go somewhere, we got to get our papers. We got to get a passport. We got to get a visa. We got to do that. We got to queue up. We got to wait, do all this thing, get all the checks, and then we're good to go. But these people, oh no, no, no. They just get on a dinghy in northern France. They're funded by NGOs, charities, in quotes, who fucking pumping them over. And it is beyond the fucking joke. What's wrong with that? Again, Martin Daubney. So join me on GB News from 6:40 AM for your news review, including this scandal. Islamists who supported the Taliban fronted charity that received over £200,000 from Prevent, the anti-terror program. Taxpayers were funding the spread of British terrorism. Okay, what's wrong with that? It's a scandal that the British taxpayer were paying money that went to the Taliban. Hello? Is that Islamophobic? Or is it kind of against terrorism and against taxpayers funding that shit? And here's another one. Germany considers copying Britain's Rwanda-style scheme of deporting illegal immigrants. Did I miss the liberal outrage over this one? Did any BBC pundits, lovies, Labour MPs or the Twitterati compare 2023 Germany to 1930s Germany? Or can only Britain be Nazi in 2023? And he retweeted that. This is literally fucking nothing. That's why the BBC story omitted these, because if the most of the people saw what the actual retweets were, they would think that this was a fucking joke, that it was a Babylon B article. One of the most alarming retweets appears to include a composite showing military graves juxtaposed with a congregation of British Muslims praying in the streets. The accompanying caption for the grave states, "They died, while the image showing the congressional prayer states for this." It could be argued that the post implies that those who fought in either World War I or World War II died in vain, or that the spread of Islam in Britain is seen as a scourge. Why are they praying in the street? Why are they praying in the street? Being protected by 2 police officers there. Because they do it deliberately. They do it, I'm not sure where this was, Finsbury Park or wherever, but they do it in Hounslow. They do it wherever they want. Leicester, there's been kicking off in Leicester between Muslims and Hindus. And then this is a provocative act. They do this deliberately. They don't need to do this. They could go in the mosque and do it. But they do it deliberately. Because they're stirring up shit. And most of these people, it's not Muslims. It's a certain type of Muslim, which I think Shahir Chowdhury may be, which is either Pakistani or Bangladeshi. Algerians ain't doing this shit. Moroccans ain't doing this shit. Saudis ain't doing this shit. It's only these ones. And he also retweeted this. London migrant youths going around with machetes going after some other youths. Import the jungle and we get the jungle. Okay, that's probably the worst one yet. But only because it says the word jungle, which is a loaded word from the past. Like the abbreviation of the word Pakistani. We can't say that. But it's against murderous mobs roaming the streets with knives. Or do you support that? But if they're Muslim, it's fine. If they're Muslim or if they're asylum seekers in quotes, I'm doing air quotes. That's fine. Like, oh no, the poor asylum seekers with their machetes roaming the streets. Please, don't attack the asylum seekers, even though they're roaming the streets with knives. Or like, where's your fucking morality? Where's your compass? If someone is roaming the fucking street with a fucking machete, they are the bad guy. That's it. Done and dusted. And if there's a whole fucking group of them, they are all bad people. Doesn't matter whether they're white, black, Muslim, whatever. If they are roaming the fucking street with fucking big 10-foot fucking knife trying to stab up someone else, they are fucking bad people. Done and dusted. If you think that's fine because they have the same skin as you, then you are a fucking cunt, Shahir Chowdhury. You are a fucking piece of shit rat cunt. Next tweet. 40 years I served my country in many countries, yet people like Gary Lineker and his supporters cancel me, use vile language at me, call me a racist and far right. I just remain calm. I love my country and have seen colleagues die for it so they can lead the life they have. Exactly. What's wrong with that? Why is that included in this article? Just complete fucking dog shit. High-profile nature of Dunn is cause for concern. There are lingering worries over Dunn's alleged personal views and whether his ability to execute the role of head of youth recruitment at the Millwall Academy has been impacted by those apparent beliefs. Of particular concern is the fact that his role has seen him be ultimately responsible for choosing who is selected for entry into the training facility. Not really. How? That's not how it works. Therefore, the debacle begs the question, has Barry Dunn ever been in the position to be able to fairly treat black, Asian, Muslim and other children of minority backgrounds who apply to join the academy? Who applies to join the academy? You get scouted. Like, you go to a trial. If I guess that's a kind of application, because you're going to the trial and saying, oh, can you please accept me? Am I going to get picked out of this trial? Don't fucking apply to join the fucking academy. Fucking spastic cunt. Guy doesn't even know what the fuck he's talking about. Moreover, if there are others within the Millwall leadership team who hold such views, what will be done to counter the unacceptable culture of racism and Islamophobia? So here we go. So what's happened is, so as you saw in the story earlier, Islamic Charter Millwall signed. So what's happened is this creepy little bearded cunt has probably gone through every Millwall staff member that he can find on Twitter. He's gone through their tweets, their retweets, their likes to see what he can see. And he's managed to get this guy, Barry Dunn. He probably has other people lined up. So if you are Millwall and you've got it in your bio and you go through your Twitter and you find something and you delete it, This fucking weirdo's probably already got a screenshot, so you're probably already fucked. He's holding on to it for another story if this one doesn't work. That's what he's setting up here. If there are others within the Millwall leadership. Not only that, but he's setting up the thing. Oh, hang on. So he wants Millwall to fire this guy because if they don't, then they must share the same views as him. Oh my god. Here we go. Mike Graham. He's retweeted Mike Graham. Anyone else not watching Match of the Day live and won't be watching Match of the Day highlights tonight, I'm done with these multi-millionaire hypocrites. What the fuck is that about? How is that in this story? That is a nothing retweet. Quite the bar tab. Seeing as everyone else is doing it, maybe it's time for the private sector to go on a paying any tax at all strike. And this is from Lawrence Fox, David Atherton. We now have, and it's a map of the UK with all the dots of the migrant hostels. Not asylum seekers, migrants, illegal migrants. We now have about 480 hotels housing migrants. Annual cost at least 6 billion. 6 billion. So all these nurses that are going on strike, there's your pay rise right fucking there. But hey, refugees welcome, yeah? Refugees, in quotes again. There's your fucking pay rise, you fucking divs. And here we go, this is it. Joining the Muslim Athlete Charter is a tick box exercise? Question mark. In early March, we reported on the news that Millwall FC had signed up to a relatively new initiative that seeks to enhance and promote better working environments for Muslim athletes in the UK. However, the news of the Championship Club's head of youth recruitment reportedly holding such appalling views really surely leads to a further point on whether the Lions are attempting to present a public image that is inclusive and respecting of others, while individuals such as Dunn allegedly push anti-migrant, anti-Muslim, and anti-discriminatory language and sentiment. There must be accountability for the reported actions of Dunn, and it must be the case that the recruitment process at Millwall Academy is reviewed as a priority by the club and by the FA. So here he's setting up. Attack on the Millwall leadership, saying if you don't do anything, you must share this guy's views. And he probably has already screenshots saying, oh, maybe there's more people that are like this. Oh my god. Now he's saying, he's basically saying, fire this guy. Fire the guy. So this creepy fucking weirdo with glasses and a big beard, he's probably about 5'1", is demanding, absolutely demanding, that you do what he wants. Zero tolerance policy against discrimination. In a statement provided to Islam 21C by a club spokesman, Millwall FC said the club is aware of an active FA investigation into the social media activity of the staff member and is cooperating fully with the governing body. The club cannot comment further while the investigation is ongoing, but wishes to reiterate its zero tolerance policy against discrimination of any kind. Now that's interesting because that's the same statement that was provided to the BBC. But the BBC said, they actually said it was, a spokesman, yeah. But they're saying it's a statement to the BBC. So, now he's saying in the statement provided to Islam 21C. In light of this news and the ongoing FA review, what FA review? Where did that come from? So what this guy, this creepy fucking weirdo has done, he's gone through everyone who works in Millwall's tweets, tried to find some things, found this one guy who's got a few things, which are literally nothing, barely anything, and then he has probably taken it upon himself to email the FA and file a complaint against this. And then he's come back and written this story. He's pretending to be a journalist. He's an activist. He's a leftist. He's probably a Marxist Islamist. In light of the news and the ongoing FA review, Islam 21C extends a cordial invitation to dialogue with the FC. We genuinely hope that the club follows through with its categorical rejection of discrimination and that together we can work towards improving existing relationships and cultures in addition to understanding the Islamic faith in a more accurate fashion. So this is the purity spiral. This is the woke diversity bullshit where they get their claws into you and you need to go further and further in. Like, are you really an anti? Are you sure you're not Islamophobic? Prove it. Do this thing. Do that thing. Do this. Are you racist? Are you? How do we? Can you do? Why are you doing this? And you're just going to get deeper and deeper into this bullshit. And we've seen it with J.K. Rowling. She's a feminist. She's a leftist. But because she believes that women don't have dicks, they're now turned against her. She's failed the purity test. She hasn't kept up with the latest leftist dogma, and she's rejecting it. And this is what this is. This fucking weirdo has been woken up by this when Millwall got themselves involved in this bullshit for whatever reason they did when they signed that Muslim Ethics Charter. And now this is what's come as a result of this. So this is a very sticky situation that Millwall are in. There's a number of things that you can do. And here we go. There's this site called newdiscourses.com. I don't know if you know this. It's basically educating people about what is actually going on when these fucking weirdos call you racist, call you Islamophobic, call you all these names, and try and counsel you, shame you, get you to do all this shit. One of their this guy James Lindsay, he puts out all these podcasts and stuff. And one of them is this: Surviving a Modern Struggle Session. So here we go. What this is about. One of the most famous and most evil techniques of Maoist Marxism is the struggle session, or sometimes just PDO, also called denunciation. So this is what they're doing. They were made famous during Mao's Cultural Revolution, but they were utilized in the Chinese thought reform. Literally wash brain or brainwashing. Prison started in the early 1950s under the CCP. The nature of struggle sessions must be understood clearly in this day and age in 2022 because Western nations are going through a woke Maoist insurgency now, and the struggle session is all the way back in fashion and has been for some time. Since being banned and returning to Twitter following Elon Musk's acquisition, host of the New Discourses podcast, James Lindsay, has been subjected to a rather brutal online struggle session in the attempt of punishing back off the site and to discredit his highly effective popularization of the term groomer, Maoist ideological groomers, especially those using queer Marxism. In this groundbreaking episode of the podcast, James goes through the struggle session he's currently experiencing while tying it to the psychological analysis of the phenomenon as presented in Robert J. Lifton's book Thought Reform and the Psychology of Totalitarianism, a study of brainwashing in China. Join him to learn about this destructive form of bullying, activism, and to learn how you can resist it. So, Millwall, anyone at Millwall watching this video, you need to find out what the fuck you got yourselves involved in and how to get the fuck out of it. There's also this book from James Lindsay, Counter Wokecraft, a field manual for combating the woke in the university and beyond. It tells you how to deal with these fucking idiots and how to get yourselves out of it. So here you go. And this is from the guy who wrote it with James Lindsay. Why I wrote it and why you should read it. I'm a professor of engineering at a large progressive university. I've written and just released a short book with James Lindsay. It's a very short book, quite thin, called Counter Wokecraft. I've written it to help academics who believe in traditional liberal values to counter and overturn the woke juggernaut at whatever level of academic machinery they can. For over a decade, I watched as my department, faculty, university, and funding agencies were overtaken by the critical social justice or woke perspective. I began consciously working against this perspective 6 years ago. Since that time, I have observed the strategies and techniques used by the woke to advance their agenda. I have also tested strategies and techniques to thwart their advances, sometimes successfully, and sometimes not, sometimes alone, and sometimes with like-minded allies. By 2019, I came to appreciate the degree to which the woke juggernaut had consolidated its power over the academy, and this forced me into a different level of action. I devoted enormous resources to researching the CSJ critical social justice perspective and its historical and philosophical antecedents. It was especially interested in documentation on how the perspective could be challenged. Unfortunately, I came up empty-handed with respect to the latter and felt compelled to share what I had learned. As a result, I began blogging every week for 6 months with the intention of compiling the blog posts into a book, and that book became Count of Wokecraft. And the blog is wokedissident.github.io. The book is designed for readers who recognise that there is a problem in their university or workplace, but who don't understand what the problem is or what to do about it. As such, the first part of the book serves as a primer on the woke perspective. It simply and clearly explains the woke worldview with a focus on the woke ethos, which is to overturn and replace the traditional liberal view of society and political project, the retributive redistribution of resources from the oppressor to the oppressed, which is the identities or equity. An important implication of the woke ethos is a fervent belief in activism as a central role for everyone, as well as the belief that the ends justify the means when seeking to advance woke goals. This section also describes the different types of participants encountered in university environments, from the woke to the woke dissidents. The second part of the book analyzes the collection of principles, strategies, and tactics used by the woke to entrench their perspective. In other words, wokecraft. The success of the woke relies primarily on three things. First is the weaponization of positive sounding, commonly understood words that have double meanings, or woke crossover words. These words, critical, diversity, inclusion, are brandished like improvised explosive devices. They are slipped into documents and decisions justified by their commonly held meanings, but are later used to justify woke interventions based on their radical woke meaning. Second, there is a general insistence on informality, which is then exploited to manipulate decision making by preventing, for example, secret ballot voting. Third, there are a number of woke bullying tactics that are used to prevent people from resisting woke advances. These range from coercion through consensus to cancel culture attacks, like the one today. Together, these tactics are used to exaggerate support for and quell dissent against woke advances. They are used to further entrench the woke perspective in academic departments, faculties, universities, funding agencies, governments, through the grand tactic of woke viral infection. The crux of the last chapter is how to counter wokecraft. This involves disarming woke tactics that quell dissent and manipulate decision making, and thereby preventing the woke perspective from becoming entrenched. Essential to this whole process is recognizing who is woke in any given situation, as explained in the first part of the chapter. This makes it possible to identify allies and to work with them to have the largest impact. Working together involves a double column offensive. The first column seeks to sow doubt in participants about the woke perspective, particularly its prescriptions. The second involves amplifying and enabling dissenting opinions, while at the same time instituting a formalization of decision-making processes that allow all participants to voice their opinions. Counter wokecraft can surely be enriched and expanded, and perhaps someday it will be. For now, I think it's an important starting point for academics who want to take back their universities from the jaws of a caustic, anti-liberal, and anti-scientific worldview that is destroying them. I hope you all agree. So there you go. Now, what I would do is, now Millwall signed this Muslim Athletes Charter. What I would do is I would go to them, I would call them, and I would say, listen, we signed up to this charter because we thought it was a good thing. We wanted to help our Muslim athletes with the club. But our exposure by working with you has caused this creepy fucking weirdo, bearded cunt, to do this, to go through all of our staff's tweets and find some shit and write this fucking dog shit article. So I'm sorry, but we can't work with you anymore. We're going to do all of this stuff ourselves. We're going to bring it in-house. So we're going to cut our ties with you because the exposure that we have from doing this good thing, trying to do this good thing for the athletes that we have, has led to this fucking bullshit. So we're done with you. Bye-bye. See you later. But hey, that's what I would do. Yeah, so here you go. Yeah, what a fucking shit show. This is what everyone was complaining about when you do this woke bullshit. This is what happens. It's not good enough. You think, oh, if we do this, yeah, this is kind of good. Well, no, because it's never gonna fucking be good enough. You're never gonna be pure enough. You're never gonna be anti-racist enough. Are you a racist? No? Then prove it. How can I fucking prove that I'm not a racist? Or shall we vote for a Muslim guy for fucking player of the year 2 years running? Shall we cheer on fucking black players in our team? Does it really give a shit? Do they care? They don't see what we see. They are fucking weirdos who are trying to undermine our traditional values, not only at Millwall, but in this whole country and around the world. It's not about what they say it's about. It's about destroying everything. So don't fucking let them do that. Thank you for watching.